I'm now joined by the Stanford Cardinal and the Clark and Elizabeth Nelson Director of Baseball, David Esker, in his ninth season, as well as senior second baseman Jimmy Nati and right-handed pitcher and senior Nick Dugan. Coach Esker, if you want to start us off with an opening statement about your team in the fall leading up to the 2026 season.
Yeah, well, we're getting close, right? It's a couple weeks away. We'll open up in Surprise, Arizona, for a tournament against four really competitive, nationally renowned teams. We open up with Arizona, and then we'll play Michigan, Oregon State, and Nebraska. It'll be a great opening to the season. It'll be year two of our existence in the ACC, and I think a year ago we found out, what a great conference that is. And if you add Cal and Stanford to that conference, we're talking the top two conferences in the country being the SEC and the ACC. I thought a year ago the conference was extremely strong. I thought we played regional competition every week, and so what that proved to us is if you navigate and make it through that gauntlet of a conference series, you're going to be ready for postseason play. And typically, at the end of a Pac-12 series, at the Pac-12 season, the top of the Pac-12 is ready to compete against anybody in the country. And the only two unknowns would have been the ACC and the SEC conferences as you got into postseason play. Well, we're in one of those now. So we're in the top two conferences in the country now, and we're excited for it this year. We got some great series on the road, places we've never been before, and we got some teams coming to Sunken Diamond that haven't been to Sunken Diamond before in the regular season with Miami and Florida State. We go to Wake Forest, we play Louisville, we play at Notre Dame. We learned a little bit about travel and how to get adjusted to travel when you travel across country, how to make that work, and how to schedule practice time, the whole thing. And I thought last year was a step forward for us. We had a big transition 2 years ago, when we lost nine juniors to the draft, basically a whole class. There was a transition period for us. I knew it was going to take us a minute. And then, with newness of high turnover in the program, and then the very next year is a lot of newness as far as changing conferences and getting adjusted to a new conference with travel. Last year was a step forward. It wasn't as big a step as we would have liked. I mean, obviously, we would have liked to have gone from a big transition year and dive back headfirst into postseason play. We started the season off great, 15-3, and I think we're flying pretty high. Won our first two ACC conference series against North Carolina and Duke, who are both super regional teams. And then we faced a little adversity, had some injuries, and then some adversity down the line, and then just the wear and tear of the season. And yeah, it didn't end as quite as strong as we would have liked, but I thought overall we had some great performances and some people that were going to step up and really set themselves up for this season. You're looking at both of them right here with Jimmy Nati and Nick Dugan. Nick was our most valuable pitcher a year ago, and Jimmy was our most valuable player a year ago. So returning two important pieces that looking to just get better with experience and better with age, and help lead our team back into hopefully into postseason. But it's going to be a journey. We've got a lot of competition in the preseason, and then year two of the ACC is going to continue to give us some challenges to get us ready and make us earn that postseason bid.
All right, we'll open it now for a question for Coach Esker, Jimmy Nati, or Nick Dugan. Our first question will come from Eric Sorensen.
Hey, Coach, good to see you again, my man. And hello to the players too. I remember last year during this media event, you had mentioned that you didn't have a 20 base steal guy on the team, and in fact, I'll give Jimmy some credit because he piped up and said, "I can be that for you, Coach." So, just kind of curious, is that going to change any? You didn't steal a lot of bases last year. Is it going to change any at all? You got some talent, some guys that can have some wheels. Are you going to change that any at all? You're going to stick with kind of the way you guys have been doing things.
Yeah, last year you're right. Our stolen base numbers were down, and a little bit we had some injuries. We're nursing some hamstrings and really kind of dialed it down almost on purpose, right? Just to kind of to make it through the season. And I think this year we got an opportunity. We've got more team speed, and Jimmy's is part of that as well. But Charlie Bates can run, and JJ Moran, who'll be our third baseman. Uh, you know, Tatum Marsh can steal some bases for us as well. And God, right behind him and waiting in the wings, we got some freshmen who can really run, between Brock Sell and Philip Chung and Brock Kettleson. I mean, we got some speed on the bases, waiting, just itching and waiting to play. So I think that's something that we can add some diversity to our offense, definitely by not just stealing bases, but just adding 90 feet. I mean, the importance of 90 feet this year is going to be really big for us, and our ability to get into scoring position or better scoring position, and maybe giving us the ability to just stack hits and RBIs with hits, and maybe driving some runs with outs. I mean, that's gonna be kind of the key. It's gonna be more about offense and how can we offense. And you're right, that 90 feet, whether it be by ball in the dirt reads or stolen bases, is going to be big.
And Jimmy, just to go back to you on this one, anything else you'd like to add about stealing a few more bases? And also just kind of what have you worked on for this year, your senior year? What have you worked on to improve your game?
Yeah, look, hopefully I can be that 20 stolen base guy, but we've got some guys like Eski said that fly, so we'll see who gets there first. But we've done a lot of practice over the fall and this winter on learning how to steal bases correctly. We do a base stealing school, we call it, and it's helped us a lot. We've seen that in the inner squad, so hopefully we can show that now this season. Eski said that 90 feet is very important and will just help us offense a lot better. For myself, just I'm old, man. I'm trying to age like some fine wine, kind of keep playing, just do my job, be a leader for this team, and we've got a bunch of good guys on this team now helping us, surrounding me and Dukes, and hopefully we just turn it around. That's why we're back here this year and put this program back where it belongs.
Great, thanks.
Our next question will come from Ben Parker.
Hey, Coach, I just kind of want to get a little more your thoughts on Charlie Bates and just kind of the growth you've seen from him from last year to this year, and what can Cardinal fans expect from him at the presumably shortstop spot, correct, for this year?
Yeah, Charlie's going to play shortstop. He came in last year, and we had some older players between Timo Becerra and Haskins at third base. We had a left side that we could lean on a little bit with some age. And Charlie, just like any freshman, I think it was a good thing for him just to kind of dip his toe and stick him in center field and let him run and be athletic. Unfortunately, probably coincided with right when we started to struggle against Cal, and he slipped a couple times and actually tore a ligament in his thumb trying to brace himself, and probably it stunted his growth a little bit as far as gameplay was concerned. But he was able to get back into the lineup later on in the year. He's a shortstop, and he's going to play shortstop. Him and Jimmy will make up one of the best middle infields in the country, and expecting great things. I mean, he is an incredible athlete, and he can really run. He's extremely athletic, and he's got some power. He does a little bit of everything, but really just kind of get him ready to play and compete at the highest level, and let him mature into his ability and his potential. So I'm excited to see him among others on our team.
And then for both the players, for Jimmy and for Nick, just talk about what areas of your games have you guys most been kind of focusing on for this upcoming season?
I would say for me, one of the biggest things to just keep being competitive. Like this fall, one of the biggest things we worked on was just competing every day in practice. You're competing against your teammates and just trying to work on the simple things like execution. Like in the ACC, you have to execute pitches. You have to throw pitches where you want them, or you're not going to be successful. You can't miss middle. You can't expect to be successful at that. So really just like simple things such as being the best competitor I can be and executing pitches.
Yeah, for me, just really owning my counts and being disciplined to my approach. If I can walk a few more times this year and get on base, the guys behind me get me in. I think that'll help the lineup a bunch. So yeah, just really sticking to my approach and just honing that in for the season. That was a big focus.
Next question will come from Steve Crone.
Yeah, Dave, good afternoon.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, one kind of general question and one specific. The general question is how much, having gone through the travel and everything else of the ACC in 2025, will benefit you guys in 2026?
I think it will be a help. I think, getting everybody acclimated to how to travel, and we've got great input from our strength coach, our trainer. They've done a lot of research and just, hey, what's the best way to get acclimated to West Coast to East Coast travel? We're going to do it 5 times, and so they've done a lot for even what we do when we're on the plane. Once we arrive, and we're leaving a day early than we would when we were in the Pac-12. We used to leave on Thursdays for weekend series, but in the ACC, we're leaving on Wednesday, so it's a little different. We obviously need some cooperation from our professors for an extra day that they're missing in class, and our kids did great in school, even with the transition. Not to say that it was easy, because it certainly was a challenge to get that done. But what speaks to their commitment to excellence in the classroom as well. I think we had about a 3.5 team GPA, which is extremely high, and they've done great and adjusted. But it takes a team effort, not only from some cooperation from the professors, but our trainers, our strength staff, and our coaching staff, just to kind of all coordinate this travel and make sure that we're looking out for the best interest and health of the student athletes for sure.
And specifically, and Jimmy, you could jump in on this too if you like, because you play next to him. I think at this time last year, the big theme for your team going in and maybe put an unfair amount of pressure on him was the arrival of Rentaro Sasaki. And to be honest, he had a decent season. He didn't have the season I think that some people expected of him. What do you expect of him this season, and how much better can he be?
Yeah, the only thing he didn't do to meet everyone's expectation was hit a home run every game and dominate college baseball the moment he stepped on the field, right?
Okay, right.
And we've had many first rounders, and I've had a number of high round draft picks and All Americans and great players, that the journey that starts their freshman year to when they ultimately reach their potential, it's not immediately falling on the field and just dominating college baseball. There's a path to it, and I think he experienced just a normal path in transition. And if everyone had every freshman hit 280 with 7 or 8 homers, they would be pretty happy with that as far as having freshman seasons. So he's a better player than he was a year ago. He's more acclimated to what not only American baseball but ACC baseball, and so I think like a lot of our players, and Jimmy and Nick as well, I put a lot of credence into what 365 days can do for you as a baseball player. Experience, growth, maturity, just physical maturity as well. It doesn't mean you have to go to a hitting guru or a pitching guru to make these great improvements. It's just what baseball brings to you with experience, and I think Rintaro is going to experience that as well. He was a first round draft pick in the Japanese professional league in the fall, and in some senses, I think he that was a lot of pressure off of him as well. You come here and you want to be the highest draft pick you can, as you can possibly. I think checking one of the boxes and being a first rounder in the Japanese league maybe takes a little pressure off, a little weight off of his shoulders as well. Hopefully, he has a great season, and there's a huge bidding war between Major League Baseball and Japanese baseball, and he has the best career ever.
Jimmy?
Yeah, Eski hit around the nail. He for a freshman, that is an unreal season he had, but because of the expectations he had, people think he had a down year or anything, but I think I hit a buck 20 my freshman year and then came back my sophomore year and, had a great jump. So I think he's gonna have a great sophomore year and really take that next step. And he works extremely hard, probably one of the hardest on the team, and extremely humble, always has great vibes on the field, always smiling. So he's destined for greatness, and we are all backing him. And I really do think he's gonna have a great year and prove a lot of people wrong.
Great. One last thing, Dave, I just addressing. Is he a draft eligible sophomore, or does he still have to go through his junior year?
Yeah, no, he's a draft eligible sophomore. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, sir.
The next question from Mark Garland.
Well, I've already talked to Coach Sasaki. It's good to see you, Coach. So I have a couple questions here for Jimmy and Nick. Nick, what do you take from last season's? There were some struggles as far as the whole pitching staff. What do you take to just kind of encourage these young guys that are coming in and tell them like not to get down on themselves early? And then Jimmy, as a follow-up, what do you take to those hitters? The same kind of thing, just kind of tell them, hey, things are going to happen your freshman year. And then also looking across, what do you tell your younger brother who's at Oregon State this year?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've kind of been through everything in my college career. I've been the worst guy on the team. I've been best guy on the team at some points. And I feel like just trusting the process is the biggest part. And I think the freshmen this year, they have a lot of trust in the older guys too. And I think they're in a great spot. And there's no single guy to really worry about. I think they could all have an extremely great year.
Yeah, and follow up, just kind of similar. I've been through it all as well. I've sucked. I've been really good. I've been injured. I haven't played. I've been on the bench. But to be where we want to be and where we want to get to, what we want to achieve, you have to go through those hard times. You have to go through those trials and tribulations. And it's hard to, remember that when you're going through it. But I think as a team, being, those last 2 seasons, going through those ups and downs, it's set us up for a really good year just because we've gone through it now. And that's what you got to remind those freshmen, that might be pressing a little bit or struggling a little bit. It's all part of it. It's all part of that growth period. Obviously, everyone wants to come in and be their best at the very start, but it doesn't always happen like that. And something I've told my brother as well. We've been in touch pretty much every other day, and he said that the Oregon State pitching staff's been dicing him up right now, and I'm just like, hey, relax. It's all gonna come. One day you wake up and it clicks, but you just got to really trust that process and stick with it. Keep stacking days, and you come out the other side a much better player for it.
I see four hands, so we'll take these final four. We'll start with Shotgun Spratling.
For the players, what's the biggest thing you guys learned from your first season in the ACC and the travel, and what you needed to do to play at your full potential with dealing with all those things?
Yeah, look, Eski hit on it before, but every weekend we're playing a regional contender. There's no weekends you can take off, and we've got to be ready to play every single weekend. Once that weekend finishes, we got to prepare for that next one, and you can't ride those highs and lows. Like, I know we started that season off really well, and then we kind of fell in that little trap of like almost a little panic mode. Well, we've got to just trust, like I said before, just keep stacking the days, and where we want to get to, we've got to go through those hard times, and nothing's going to be easy for us this year with the travel. People try and give us that excuse, but we're very ready for it. We're a gritty team. I think we're going to prove a lot of people wrong, and we just can't get down on anything that happens. We got to stay through, trust the process, and we have that main goal. Obviously, we want to win that national championship. We've been talking about that since day one of the fall, since coming back in the winter. Everything we've been doing in practice has been leading up to this. So we know it's not going to be easy, and nothing is ever easy if it's worthwhile. So I think, just staying true to it and trusting that process is a big key factor for us.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Just trusting the process. I think there's kind of like Jimmy said, there's a different kind of focus it takes in the ACC, obviously, because you leave a day earlier, you got to figure out classes, you got to talk to professors, you got to figure out all that stuff. And then you got to play regional caliber teams every weekend. So I think there's a lot more focus that goes into it. And I think we've learned that over the last year. And I think we're destined to have a great year this year because we learned that last year.
Our next question will come from Eric Sorensen.
Hey, Coach, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that you got Mark was behind you there. And, us media guys have been asking each of the coaches kind of what he meant to him. I know he meant the world to you, so you don't have to necessarily say that. But just can you give a good anecdote or a good story about Marquis that kind of like typifies your relationship with him?
Well, God, that would take too long. These kids probably have to go to class at some point. But God, it sounds cliche to say that he was like a father to me, but he literally was like a father to me. We spent a lot of time together. My son's middle name is Mark in honor of him. So He's been a big part of my life since my step foot on campus here, and I think he's been a big part of every decision that I've made since I've been in college, whether it's getting married or buying a house or accepting a job or moving on, or professional and personal. And I just I treasure the hour phone calls we'd have when we both would go on walks. I treasured the 2 or 3 hour dinners at the Sundance across the street that we had often. And he was more than just a coach to me. I guess my line that I always say, he was a great coach. He was a better man. He treated me like a son. I loved him like a father. And I'm gonna miss just the casual times that I had with him. And I know I felt blessed to have him. I know not everybody got an opportunity to know him like I did, or to spend time like that. But it was more than just baseball. He taught me a lot about baseball and a lot on how to treat people and how to pursue excellence. He helped me develop habits that I have until this day, whether it's being on time or just my pursuit of excellence and being competitive and to hate losing and to try to do anything you can to alter the outcome, to practicing really hard, just things like that. And I've had those conversations with a number of my teammates that mentioned that their lives today are marked by their time that they had here at Stanford, and that they're better people and better husbands and better fathers because of the example that he set.
Great. Thanks, Coach. See you in Arizona.
Okay.
Our next question will come from Brian Davis. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, Davis, it's been a tough week for you. Losing your
But we lost you.
Yep, sounds like we may have lost Brian.
old
So we'll
coach,
go to Ben Parker.
protege. You took over the program nearly a decade ago.
He
Oh,
can
we
go.
still lost you.
Can we hear him, or if you can hear him, he can go. No.
I'll mute him now and we'll go to Ben Parker.
All right, sounds good. A little confusion there. Hashtag 2026 technological problems. For the players, I was wondering, you guys have had some kind of fun traditions over the last couple of years. You guys had the money shirt, you guys had the Mountain Dew, Baja, maybe that, some of those Malcolm, but do you guys have any kind of fun kind of uh other, home run traditions celebrated coming up, or just kind of how do those kind of clubhouse rituals kind of take shape? Yeah.
Yeah, we have a few coming out. I don't want to spoil any for the season, but they just come from some funny memories from the team. We have a great locker room and a great culture, and the more we spend time together, I think it really helps, how we play on the field, because you look around and you see all your brothers out there, and you look back in the dugout when you're on two strikes, and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to hit this guy. And you look up and you see all the guys in the dugout. Come on, baby, let's do it for each other. And it's awesome. And yeah, like I said, just those little memories and little stories that we have together that will then carry onto the field. And it just keeps you loose. It keeps you playing the game for fun, and for your brothers. And I think we're going to go out there and compete our ass off. But at the same time, we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. And that's the big part of it. And that's why I love this culture. We learn how to play easy and free, and that's when we play our best baseball.
Except for me too. Yeah. I mean, as far as the pitchers, I mean, the Baja Blaster is pretty much a hitter's thing. But as far as the pitchers go, we're working on something, but it's kind of just got to form naturally. I'm sure it won't happen right away, but there will be something that will come out soon, but I'm not going to reveal it now.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
All right, Brian, we'll try one more time. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's been a tough week. You lose Mark Marquez, and of course, losing Bob Milano back, I think 3.5, almost 4 months ago in the last fall. Two Bay Area icons. Now within a span of 3.5, 4 months apart, no longer with us. What's your thoughts about for both Coach Marquez and for Coach Milano?
Yeah, I think you used the word correctly when you say icon, and right, they were college baseball icons, Bay Area baseball. for many years, that was the Cal Stanford rivalry was Bob Milano and Mark Marquis. And, I was blessed and fortunate enough to take over for both of them, which is unusual, and had a great time. I loved my years at Cal, and still have a lot of people at Cal that I consider family. And then obviously at Stanford is where I grew up. It's my home, and being blessed to have the opportunity to come back to my alma mater and have the blessing of Coach Marquis, and really feeling like with the support and standing on his shoulders, trying to keep the program at such a high level. But it's unusual to lose them both at one time, right? It really is sobering to the baseball community in the Bay Area to lose not only Coach Milano but Coach Marquis at the same time. And I think it really brings attention to both programs and to college baseball. Unfortunately, in having them both pass, but again, they're in their honor, understanding that what they both had built and the success that they had in college baseball, and bringing attention to the West Coast, to these two great men that really did a lot for not only Cal and Stanford but college baseball. Coach Marcus, they both were on the Olympic team staff as well, and on a gold medal winning staff. And so they were two titans in college baseball, but to see them both pass is sad. And tomorrow was a day that I've kind of dreaded all my life. I never really wanted to have to ever go to Coach Marcus's funeral, and we'll do that tomorrow, and it'll be one of my saddest days. But again, it'll make me reflect on all the great times I had with him, and we'll try to honor him with the way I live my life from here on out.
And I also want to just throw in, I have talked with Coach Mike New over last Saturday at the alumni weekend. And both Cal and Stanford's playing that final weekend. They should do a tribute to both Milano and Marquez that final weekend in Berkeley. I think it would be for this Bay Area rival.
Yeah, that would seem fitting, right? To honor both at that time. And it'll be a great series. Enjoy competing against Mike, and I know it'll be a great series at Cal this year. Hopefully with a different result, but it'll be great.
It's funny because the man you end up replacing at Stanford is the incumbent replaces you over at Cal. So it's all in three different, in contrast though, cross flex.
Yeah, you're right. It's a little 6 degrees on Mark Marquis, right? I mean, it just seems to be
Yeah.
it's all tied, and somehow it reverts back to Coach Marquis here, whether it was myself at Cal or myself at Stanford or Mike. So yeah, you're right. But it's a pretty tight community. I'm blessed. Brad Sanfilippo at San Jose State, who I'm extremely proud of what he's done at San Jose State, was one of my assistants, and obviously Rusty at Santa Clara being
Right.
Coach Marquis's assistant. So we're all tied together, and the greatness breeds greatness, and Coach Marquis and Milano certainly have had their effect and impact on college baseball, and even today with the coaches and people that they've impacted.
All right. Thank you, Coach Esker, Jimmy, and Nick, and good luck to the Cardinal as it opens the 2026 season at the College Baseball Series in Surprise, Arizona.
All right. Thank you.